the counting and the probability in this tutorial. What about the counting? We will talk about the basic of counting, the techniques of the counting, and then we will talk about two important techniques of the counting, which are the combination and the permutation. Now, those are the things we're going to cover about the counting. We will talk about the product rule as a procedure of counting. We will talk about the sum rule. We will talk about the subtraction rule, the division rule. Then we will talk about the tree diagram, the permutation, and the combination. All of those are techniques of counting. Now, what does the counting mean and why do we need the counting? The idea of the counting is knowing all the outcomes that we have. I have an experiment, I have something that I want to do, and I want to know what are the number of all the outcomes I have, how many outcomes I have here. So for example, if I'm traveling from Dammam to Riyadh, and then from Riyadh, I'm traveling to Jeddah, okay? So if I ask you in how many different ways you can travel from Dammam to Riyadh, who can answer me now? If I want to travel from Dammam to Riyadh, how many different ways I have to do that? I can travel by airplane, I can travel by my car, or I can travel by train. So actually I have 3 different ways to travel from Dammam to Riyadh. Tamam? And if I ask you how many ways you can travel from Riyadh to Jeddah, so how many ways I have to travel? I can travel by airplane or I can travel using my car. So actually I have 2 ways to travel from Riyadh to Jeddah. So I have 2 ways to travel from Riyadh to Jeddah. Now we say that we have a successive operations. I will travel from Dammam to Riyadh, but then from Riyadh I'm going to travel to Jeddah. 3 ways to travel from Dammam to Riyadh, and then 2 ways to travel from Riyadh to Jeddah. If we do a multiplication, this means in overall I have 6 ways to travel from Dammam to Jeddah. I can travel مثلا by car, then by airplane. I can travel by airplane and then by airplane. I can travel by train, then by airplane, and so on. So how many different ways I have to do that? I have 6 different ways to do that. So whenever we have successive operations, we do a multiplication. Also, we have one famous example when I have a coin. عارفين الcoin? In the coin, we have a head or we have a tail. إيش الcoin؟ اللي هي العملة المعدنية. في لها head وفي لها tail. So if I'm flipping, we say we are flipping here the coin, how many outcomes we have? It's either that we will have a head or we will have a tail. So how many outcomes I have? I have 2 outcomes here. This is the counting, knowing how many outcomes you have in this experiment. Now, one famous example as well, whenever we have the dice. إيش الdice? Now, this cubic thing that has 6 faces, numbered from 1 to 6. Yeah? So what are the outcomes whenever we roll the die, we say? We are rolling the die. Whenever we roll the die, the outcomes either we will get number 1, number 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. So if I ask you how many outcomes you have here, I have 6 outcomes here. Yeah? So this can be more complicated. Now we can do successive operations. يعني أنا أسوي operation وأسوي وراها operation ثانية. So if I'm gonna flip a coin twice, يعني I'm gonna have this coin which has a head and tail, and I'm gonna flip it twice. In this case, the first time I either will get a head or a tail. And if the first time it was a head, the second time is going to be either head or tail. If it was tail, the second time is either head or tail. So what do we say? نقول إن أول مرة أسوي flipping للcoin عندي 2 outcomes. Yeah? And the second time I'm flipping the coins, I have 2 outcomes. So overall, I have a 2 multiplied 2, which is 4 outcomes here. So using the multiplication technique لأن عندي successive operation, إذا أنا قاعدة أسوي flipping للcoin مرتين, this means I will have a 2 multiplied 2, which is a 4 outcomes. طيب, say إن you have this experiment. You are gonna flip coin, then you're gonna roll a die. فأول مرة when I'm flipping the coin, how many outcomes I have? How many outcomes when I'm flipping the coin? I have 2 outcomes. When I'm done, I'm gonna roll the die. How many outcomes I have out of this? I have 6 outcomes. So overall, in this experiment of flipping the coin and then rolling the die, I have a 2 multiply 6 outcomes, so I have a 12 outcomes here. You got it? So this is the technique of the counting, okay? What we use here is the multiplication rule or the product rule. The product rule here states what? It states that if you have a procedure that can be broken down into a sequence of 2 tasks, in one way is for the first task, and in 2 ways to do the second task. Both of them, they are done in one, multiply within 2 ways to do the procedure. Okay, فأنا لو كان عندي 2 procedures, واحدة تخلص وبعدين راح أسوي next, معناها the number of outcomes will be multiplied here to get the overall number of outcomes. Now, for example, if I'm talking here about a bit string of length 7, إيش يعني bit string of length 7? I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 places in my bit string. وإيش يعني bit string? Bit string يعني ال outcomes فيها or the inputs I mean هنا are either 0 or 1. إيش يعني bit string? يعني عبارة عن sequence of 0 and 1s. For each place here, each place of the 7 places that we have is either 0 or 1. صح ولا لا؟ either في كل مكان من الأماكن هذه بحط يا 0 يا بحط 1. يا 0 يا 1. يا 0 or 1. 0 or 1. 0 or 1. 0 or 1. So we say how many options we have for the first place. I have 2 options. أول مكان عشان أعبي عندي 2 options يا 0 يا 1. بجي للمكان اللي بعده عشان أعبيه again يا أحط 0 يا 1 فعندي 2 options followed by 2 followed by 2 and a 2 and a 2. How many times we have? This is 7 2s we have multiplied, so this is a 2 to the power 7. So for the bit string of length 7, how many ways we can form bits هنا? It is 2 to the power 7 ways, which equal to 128. Okay? Now, one more example. If I ask you this question, how many bit strings of length 5 you have? How many bit string طولها راح تكون 5 in this time? So I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, yeah? Each one of them, لأن قاعدة أقول bit string, will have a 2 option, either 0 or 1. So this is a 2, multiply with a 2, multiply with a 2. How many times here? 5 times. So this is a 2 to the power 5. So the answer, this is a 2 to the power. Yeah? طيب, if I ask you this question, how many, now we say, bit strings of length 5 start with 1 0 we have? So what do they say here? And أنا عندي bit string of length 5. So again, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. لكن in this bit string, في condition إن it's starting with 1 0 فالمكان الأول محجوز ل 1 والمكان الثاني محجوز ل 0. Yeah. So المكان الأول ما عندي خيارات. It is just 1 and a 0 I have. الأوبشنز في الثالث والرابع والخامس. So how many options we have? 2. How many options? 2. How many options for this? 2. So overall this is a 2 to the power 3. Instead of 2 to the power 5 راح يكون 2 to the power 3 in this case. لأن المكان الأول والأخير already محجوزين. You got it? طيب, if I ask you this question, how many or in how many ways we can make a password consist, just 1 second, consist of 4 digits. So in how many ways we can make a password that consists of 4 digits? 4 digits معناها عندي 4 أماكن صح ولا لا؟ I have 4 places. البليسز هذه راح أحط فيها digits. So whenever I say digits, what do I mean لما أقول digit؟ إيش يعني كلمة digit؟ I'm talking about the numbers from 0, 1, 2, 3 لحد 9. So the numbers from 0, 9 هي اللي نسميها digits. Any other number is a combination of those digits صح ولا لا؟ So I have 10 of them. From 0 to 9 I have 10 of them. فالفirst place أنا عندي 10 options. والsecond place عندي 10 options. والthird عندي 10. والfourth عندي 10. So actually the answer is a 10 to the power 4. كيف 40؟ لا 10 to the power 4 actually. 10 to the power 4 is not 40. Do the calculation, use your calculator and find what does 10 to the power 4 equal to. تمام. Let me ask you the question in this way. And how many ways now we can make again ال10 هذه هي الاوبشنز اللي موجودة عندي. مو أنا قلت بحط digit يا لميا؟ مو أنا قلت بحط digit في الأماكن الفاضية الباسورد في digit. كلمة digit معناها numbers from 0 to 9. احسبيهم من 0 to 9. How many of them we have? 10. فعندي 10 options لأول مكان، 10 option للثاني، للثالث وللرابع. This is 10 to the power 4. Got it? Now how many ways we can make again بقول a password consist of, let's say, 4 letters here. I'm gonna say capital. Letters. So again أنا بسوي password هنا. لكن الباسورد بيكون طوله 4 yeah. So I have a 1 2 3 4 places. لكن الباسورد هذا راح استخدم فيه capital letters. How many capital letters we have? عندنا 26 letters. لو جيت على الجنب ايش letters اللي موجودين عندي? I have the letters from A to Z. How many of them I have? I have 26 of them. So actually this is a 26 multiply with a 26 multiply with a 26 multiply with a 26. This is a 26 to the power 4. You get the idea now? And anything here can be a combination between those things. Let's do one more example. Let's give one more challenging example here. And how many ways we can make a 4-digit password without repeating numbers, without repeating digits, let's say, without repeating digits. So again أنا قاعدة أتكلم عن 4-digit password. 4-digit password معناها عندي 4 أماكن راح أستخدم فيهم digit. الdigit I'm talking about from 0 to 9 and how many of them? I have 10 of them. الحين notice إنه يقول لي without repeating a digit. Without repeating a digit يعني أنا لما أستخدم digit في المكان الأولاني ما أقدر أستخدمه مرة ثانية. You are correct شذا. You are correct. I'm not repeating digits يعني الديجيت اللي بحطه في أول مكان I'm not gonna use it again. Okay؟ فأول مكان عندي أول مكان كم digit عندي عشان أحط؟ لسه أنا ما استخدمت ولا واحد. I have 10 of them. أقدر أستخدم 10 اللي موجودين عندي كلهم صح ولا لا؟ بجي على المكان الثاني بكون already استخدمت واحد في أول مكان صح؟ So how many of them I have? I have 9 of them. بجي للمكان الثالث أنا already استخدمت واحد هنا وواحد هنا. How many of them remain? 8. How many remain for the last place? 7. So the answer is 10 multiply 9 multiply 8 and multiply 7. أنا طبعا نجيب الأنسر هنا. You use your calculator to find the answer. 5,040. Thank you, Khalid. It's equal to 5,040. Many questions can be about this counting technique, which is the product technique. Now let's check this example that we have in the slide. How many different license plates can be made if each plate contains a sequence of 3 uppercase English letters and then followed by 3 digits? فالسؤال ايش يقول لي؟ يقول لي ان انا بيكون عندي 3 uppercase English بعدين followed by 3 digits. فعندي اول 3 اماكن راح يكون فيها uppercase English letter, so 26 for each one of them, and then followed by 3 digits, so 3 places that have 10 options for each, so this will be 26 26 26 10 fit 10 and fit 10. It makes sense? يقول لي أول 3 أماكن بحط فيهم English letters. وبعدين 3 أماكن ثانية بحط فيهم digits. So we have 26 3 times. We have the 10 3 times as well. And this will be the answer if you do the calculations. تمام? Now, the product rule is actually explaining what we had before on the sets. Remember when we talked about the Cartesian product of a set? إيش يعني لما أسوي Cartesian product of 2 sets A and B? معناها I'm making a pair AB where A is from A, where B is from B. You remember that? So actually, the cardinality of the Cartesian product of A1, A2 لحد AM means the cardinality of A1 because I'm taking elements from A1, taking elements of A2, taking elements from AM. So the product rule now is explaining what we had before in the sets. It means how many elements in the Cartesian product, how many elements in the Cartesian product mean how many elements fill A1 multiply with how many elements fill A2, how many elements fill AM last. Now, the second rule that we have is sum rule. Now, the sum rule happens when you have something that can happen in one operation or in another operation. I'm talking about إن عندي two options، يا إني أسوي شيء بالطريقة الأولى أو أسوي بالطريقة الثانية. So I have or in my question. So if you have a task that can be done either in one ways, or as you can see, in two ways, where none of in one way and in two ways happen at the same time, then overall we say that we have in one plus in two ways to do the whole task. Let's see this example to get the idea here. I'm talking about mathematics department that need to choose either a student or a faculty member. So as you can see, إنهم راح يختارون يا student أو faculty member، صح ولا لا؟ Do we have a student that is a faculty member? No, it's either student or faculty member. So الإكسبيرمنت حقتي مقسومة إلى قسمين والقسمين ما بينهم or. It's either a student or a faculty. تمام? So we complete reading our question. As a representative for the university committee, how many choices are there for this representative? إذا كان عندي 37 member of the mathematics faculty. يعني عندي 37 faculty. And I have 83 major students. Huh? And no one is both. يعني no one is both faculty and a student. So how many students we have? We say we have 83. How many faculty member we have? We have 37. So in how many ways we can choose a representative? إذا عندي 83 student and 37 faculty member, we add in this case. نجمع. This equal to 83 plus 37. And this equal to 120 ways we can do this. Okay? So متى نستخدم السم rule؟ لما يكون عندنا or. يعني we can do it with this way or this way. متى نستخدم المultiplication؟ لما تكون successive operations. يعني أسوي واحدة وأسوي الثانية. من شوي أنا لما أختار الباسورد أحط أول مكان أخلص أسوي next. بعدين أسوي next. فsuccessive operation. زي لما كان عندنا traveling from دمام to Riyadh and then from Riyadh to Jeddah. Yeah? So عندي operations أخلص من واحدة وأسوي الثانية. I'm gonna use the multiplication. لكن لما يكون عندي two options يا أسويها بالطريقة هذه or بالطريقة الثانية I'm gonna use the sum rule here. طبعا if you remember also when we talked about the sets, if we have a set A and we have another set B, this is for, yeah, this is my set B. If it happens in an A will B goes like when we don't have intersection in between them, then the cardinality of A union B, يعني how many elements for union is equal to cardinality A plus the cardinality B. And this explains the sum rule. The sum rule يقول لي إن إذا كنت هذه or هذه and the union usually goes to or, this is cardinality A plus cardinality B, considering that we don't have an intersection in between them. In case of intersection, later on we will do it for the difference rule or the subtraction rule here. So here we have this example. In this example, we are combining the sum and the product rule together. So suppose that a statement label in a programming language can be either a single letter or a letter followed by a digit. شايفين الأور؟ الأور معناها بتعطيني sum. Yeah? So I'm talking about two options. الباسورد عندي أو الليبل راح يكون إما single letter or راح يكون letter followed by digit. تمام? So for the single letter case, single letter, how many options we have for a single letter? Who can tell me? الأوبشن الأولاني إن أنا راح أستخدم single letter. How many single letters we have? We have 26 of them. لما أقول letter followed by a digit, how many options we have for a letter followed by a digit? Yeah, for the letter, I have 26. Followed by a digit, I have a 10. So this equal to the sum of those two. This is a 26 plus 26 multiplied with a 10, طبعا, which is 260, and the result is 286. You can find the solution here. Yeah, 260 with the 26 now is equal to 286. Got it? Now we have the following example. I'm gonna take this to the next slide. Let's solve it together here. Now, what do they say? Each user in a computer have a password or has a password. This password is 6 to 8 characters long. فكل يوزر عنده باسورد. الباسورد هذا من 6 إلى 8 بالطول. تمام؟ So what I'm talking about هنا? I'm talking about إن الباسورد اللي موجود عندي لا يكون إنه طوله 6 أو راح يكون طول الباسورد 7 or طول الباسورد راح يكون 8. This is what they say. قال لي إن كل يوزر راح يكون عنده باسورد والباسورد from 6 to 8 characters long. تمام؟ So عندي يا إما الباسورد 6 يعني طوله 6 or الباسورد راح يكون 7 or الباسورد راح يكون of length 8. Moreover, what did they say? Where each character is an uppercase letter or a digit. Okay? فبرضو إن كل مكان فاضي عندي يا بحط فيه letter يا بحط فيه digit. الأور تقول لي إن I'm gonna add. Letters, how many letters we have? We have a 26. With digits, how many digits we have? We have a 10. So we have a 36 options for each one place هنا. So the password 6, since it has 6 places, it's gonna be 36 power 6. لأن طول الباسورد هنا 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. كل مكان يا راح يكون فيه letter يا راح يكون فيه digit. فالletters عندي 26 والdigits عندي 10. add this equal to 36. فكل مكان من الأماكن هذه راح يكون في 36 option 36 option 36 and 36. How many of them? We have 36 to the power 6. للباسورد 7 راح يكون 36 power 7 وللباسورد 8 is gonna be 36 power 8. تمام لحد كده؟ برضو add a restriction هنا. قال إن each password must contain at least one digit. قال لي إن على الأقل لازم one digit يكون موجود في كل password موجود عندي. So عشان إن أقول إن يكون عندي at least one digit, I'm gonna exclude the case of all letters. صح ولا لا؟ إيش الأوبزيت حق كلمة إن at least one digit؟ يعني على الأقل أبغى يكون عندي digit واحد يظهر عندي صح؟ الأوبزيت thing إنه يكونوا كلهم letters. يعني أنا ما أبغى الكيس إنه كلهم letters. Yeah? الكيس حق كلهم letter, I'm talking about 26 power 6. So I'm gonna exclude and subtract the case of 26 to the power 6 هذه اللي يكونوا كلهم letters. And from here, I'm gonna exclude the 26 power 7. And from here, I'm gonna exclude the 26 power 8 in this case. عشان أستثني الكيس اللي تكون كلها letters. Okay? طبعا we have or, so we will finalize the solution by adding everything. So the solution is the password 6 نحسبها كم plus the password 7 and password 8. This will give you the final answer. تمام. And you can see the answer here in the slide. This is how many passwords of length 6, of length 7, of length 8, and we add them all, and this will be the answer. This is how many passwords we can make according to the conditions. Okay? Any question? Okay. Here we have this example. This example is talking about, let's give ourselves more space here. Okay. Tamam. So what we have here is the internet protocol, IB. Yeah. Version 4, I mean, of the internet protocol, the IPv4 use 32 bits. يعني ايش يعني bits؟ يعني 0 1 entries we have. This version has class A, class B, class C, and class D, and class E. Look at the table. الكلاس A تبدأ ب0 وبعدين يكون عندي مكان للي نسميه النت ID. بعدين راح يكون عندي مكان للهوست اي دي. تحت مشروح عندكم انه راح يكون 0 وكم بت اوف نت اي دي، يعني راح يكون عندي 7 اماكن للنت اي دي. وكم مكان للهوست اي دي؟ راح يكون عندي 24 بت للهوست اي دي. تمام. الكلاس بي ناو يبدأ ب 10 followed by the net ID followed by the host ID. How many places lil net ID? We have 14. And how many places in host ID? We have 16. هنا 7 and then 24 places. تمام. The class C now start with 110 followed by a net ID then a host ID. For the class C, how many net ID? 21. How many host ID? 8. So هنا راح يكون عندي 21 وهنا راح يكون عندي 8. الكلاس D والكلاس E ما حد قاعد يستخدمهم. اوكي. الكلاس D والكلاس E are not used to any address on a computer on the internet. Only we are using الكلاس A والكلاس B والكلاس C. Moreover عندنا restrictions يقول لك إن ال 111111 not available as a net ID for the class A. يعني النت ID اللي فيها 7 أماكن هذه cannot be all ones. وبعد إن الهوست ID for the class A والclass B والclass C حتى cannot be all zeros and cannot be all one. It's not available for any network. Okay. So الidea إن أنا عندي 3 classes هنا راح أقدر أستخدمهم. إما أنا راح أستخدم الكلاس A راح أسميه XA أو راح أستخدم الكلاس B أو راح أستخدم الكلاس C. It's an or هنا. أنا عشان أسوي أدرس للكمبيوتر يا راح أستخدم كلاس A أو B أو C. فأنا actually عندي 3 options يا كلاس A يا الكلاس B يا الكلاس C. تمام. نجي على الكلاس A it start with 0 وبعدين bit string كم طولها؟ طولها 7. So I'm talking about a 2 to the power 7. معاي ولا لا؟ مو هذه نت ID، هذه bit string. يعني كل مكان في السبعة هذه يا بحط 0 يا بحط 1. So I'm talking about 2 to the power 7 options. تمام. وبالنسبة للهوست ID I have a 24 places. So this is 2 to the power 24. الحين الكلاس A قال لي إن it cannot be all one as a net ID. So بطرح الكيس هذه اللي هي تكون all 1. So this is actually 2 to the power 7. أقدر أسوي أي شيء، أقدر أستخدم أي 0 1 في الأماكن كلها، ما عدا إني أقدر أستخدم إنها كلها 1 اللي هي one case of all. So I'm gonna exclude it. And this is multiply with, it's followed by a host ID اللي فيها 24 مكان. So this is 2 to the power 24 here. 2 to the power 24. Also they told me إن الhost ID ما ينفع يكون كله zeros وما ينفع يكون كله 1, which is 2 cases from everything. So I'm gonna exclude 2 here. We're gonna do the same for the class B. What do you think? The class B بادي ب 1 0 والnet ID كم فيها 14. So I'm talking about 2 to the power 14. النت اي دي حق كلاس بي ما لها اي ريستريكشن، لا ما راح نطرح منها واحد يا خالد، لان اللي هنا قال على الكلاس A بس، هذا على الكلاس A بس حق ال 1 1 1 1 1 just for class A. الكلاس B ما معلق على النت اي دي حقتها، it can be anything. So this is just 2 power 14. والhost ID I have a 16 places, so this is 2 to the power 16 and I'm going to subtract 2 لأنه قال لي إنه for all networks يعني حق class A وهذا حق class B وحق class C I will exclude اللي all zeros and all ones. For the class C now I have a 110 بعدين 21 net ID, so this is 2 to the power 21 with no restriction. And for the host ID, this is 2 power 8, لكن I'm gonna exclude a 2 out of it. You got it? Then you have to do the calculations طبعا and get this, this, and this, and then we are gonna add all of them. راح نجمع class A, class B, class C. As a result, you can see everything in here. Class A actually it's equal to 27 minus 1, 224 minus 2 multiply. This will be the class A. Class B is equal to 214, 216 minus 2 multiply. This will give you this result. Class C it is 221. 28 minus 2 multiply will give you this. Then we add all the classes and this will give us the final answer, which is this number that you can see. Get it now? You got it, I mean? Okay. Now we talked about the multiplication rule. We talked about the addition rule. تمام? عندنا subtraction rule. As I told you, subtraction rule again can be explained by the sets. لو كان عندي set A ولو كان عندي set B, you remember we said in the cardinality of A union B is cardinality A plus cardinality B minus the cardinality when A, B happen at the same time. Yeah? فأجين نفس الاديشن كان cardinality A union B is equal cardinality A plus cardinality B لكن بشرط إن ما عندي intersection يعني this is my A and this is my B, they do not meet. زي الإكزامبل لما قلنا عندنا student to faculty member, they do not meet. Okay? زي من شوي لما أقول password, لما يكون عندي password 6 و password 7 و password 8, يعني ما في password 6 و password 7 at the same time, صح ولا لا؟ It is a separate thing. So we just add. الحين لما يكون عندي في option إنهم يكونون happening at the same time, in this case, I will have the subtraction rule. It will be cardinality of A plus cardinality of B minus cardinality of the intersection. And you will get this from this example, inshallah. How many bit string of length 8 either start with 1 bit or end with 2 bits 0 and 0. فأنا شفت الأور صح ولا لا؟ فأتوقع إن عندي 2 options. فأنا قاعدة أتكلم عن length bit string of length 8 إنها تبدأ بالبت 1 أو تنتهي بال2 bits 0 0. فعندي OR معناها الحل عندي ينقسم قسمين. I have 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 ومحدد لي إنه يبغاها starting with a 1 or إن ال 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 end with the bits 0 and 0. Yeah. So starting with 1 ending with a 0 and a 0. لكن في عندي case اللي هي starting with 1 and end with 0 0 صح ولا لا؟ So I have to add one additional branch اللي هي for the case 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 when it start with 1 and end with 0 0 اللي هي when they happen at the same time. فالسولوشن راح يكون الكيس هذه زائد الكيس هذه minus الكيس when they happen at the same time. To make sense to you? Now, how many options we have for the first case اللي هي starting with 1? Who can tell me? الكيس الأولانية اللي when starting with 1. I have 8 places. واحد فيهم محجوز ها؟ إيش باقي؟ 2 power 7. ممتاز. الكيس الثانية اللي هي ending with 0 0. اثنين محجوزين من الثمانية. فإيش بقى عندي؟ 2 to the power 6. والكيس when they both happen at the same time انحجز الأول وانحجزت الزيرو زيرو يعني 3 أماكن حجزت عندي. I'm talking about 2 power 5. ممتاز. So overall this is a 2 7 plus 2 6 minus 2 and 5. So طبعا you have to do the calculations. 128 62 and minus 32. The final answer is equal to 160. Get it? فيعني actually شكلا يعطيني نفس الاديشن صح؟ لكن لما افكر فيها deeply شوي راح الاقي ان في shared part and I have to use the subtraction هنا. Let's have this example. In how many ways you can make a bit string of length, let's say 5, that start with 1 or start with 0. So what do I have هنا؟ قاعد يقول لي في OR صح؟ عندي OR فمعناها السولوشن مقسوم إلى قسمين. البت string هنا of length 5. So I have a 1 2 3 4 5 places and a 1 2 3 4 5 places and I have an OR in between them. يقول لي start with 1 or start with 0. Do I have a case اللي هو start with 1 and 0? في عندي case ثالثة هنا؟ في case when they have both happen at the same time هنا؟ No. So خلاص I'm gonna stay with the addition لأن ما عندي case of إن both of them happen at the same time. So I remain with هنا 4 places. So this equal to 2 to the power 4. And this also equal to 2 to the power 4. لأن هنا عندي OR, so I'm gonna add. So this is 2 power 4 plus 2 power 4. And you find the answer. Get it? اوكي. الاثنين هذا لأن عندنا two options. No 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 dear. الاوبشنز اللي هي أنا كم شيء موجود عندي أقدر أحطه هنا. ما في مجال للطرح يا هالة. الطرح لما يكونون both happen at the same time. هل في حالة إنه راح يبدأ بواحد وزيرو at the same time ينفع؟ Unlike the previous example. The previous example كان ممكن إنه يبدأ بواحد وينتهي بزيرو زيرو. ها؟ لكن الكيس هذه ما في كيس when they both happen at the same time. يعني ما ينفع إنه يبدأ بواحد وزيرو at the same time فما في طرح. تمام؟ طيب. Now, a division rule here, the division rule idea is like when you are having your space of outcomes. And this space of outcomes is divided into parts that happen equally likely. So if you have n by d ways to do a task that it can be done using procedure that can be carried in n ways. And for every way W, exactly D of the n ways corresponding to the way W. In this case, we're gonna use the division rule. Now, one example here, if we are talking about seating 4 different peoples around a circular table. أنا عندي circular table, sorry, yeah. We have a circular table and I'm trying to seat 4 different peoples around it. So I have 4 chairs around in here. Yeah. So for those 4 people to sit around the table, I want to know how many ways I can let them sit around this table, considering in a seating يعتبر the same if each person is having the same left and right neighbor. So الشخص الأول عشان يجلس how many ways he's having. أنا عندي 4 أشخاص تمام وعندي 4 كراسي. فلما الشخص الأولاني يجي عشان يجلس how many ways he have to sit. He has 4 different chairs to sit. بس يجلس يجي الشخص اللي بعده عشان يجلس كم راح يكون عنده طريقة للجلوس. How many ways he can sit? 3 different ways. And the one after كم راح يبقى عنده كرسي. 2. last one راح يكون عنده 1 way. This is what we call factorial 4 guys. Factorial 4 هذا this is a number you can find in your calculator. لما أقول 4 في 3 في 2 في 1 this is factorial 4. لما مثلا في 5 أقول 5 في 4 في 3 في 2 في 1 this is factorial 5. So this is factorial 4 actually. طيب according to the division rule الحين ولأنه قال إن البيرسون لما يجلس الشخص اللي على يساره ويمينه نفس الأشخاص يعتبر نفس السيتنج. فالشخص الأولاني مثلا لو جلس هنا أوكي وعلى يمينه وعلى يساره نفس الأشخاص راح يعتبر إنه غير الكرسي وراح الكرسي الثاني بنفس الطريقة وغير وراح الكرسي الثالث بنفس الطريقة وغير إلى الرابع. He can do this 4 different times and it is considered the same seating. So I'm gonna divide this by 4 according to the division rule to get my result. أما لو ما حط لي الشرط هذا إن الشخص على اليمين واليسار نفس الشخص عشان يعتبر the same seating راح أستخدم بس مضروب الفور اللي هو 4 في 3 في 2 في 1. لكن لأن seating is considered the same لو هو تنقل على 4 كراسي مع نفس الأشخاص اللي على يمينه ويساره I'm gonna divide this by 4 to get my result. If you do the calculation this equal to 24 over 4 and this equal to 6. Let me give you one more example using this division rule. A more clear example is if I ask you this, in how many ways we can arrange the letters in the word infinity. How many letters do we have هنا? Let's count them. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. أنا عندي 8 letters. وبمسكهم وبعيد ترتيبهم. تمام؟ فعندي 8 letters فبعيد ترتيبهم على 8 أماكن بعد. صح ولا لا؟ فأول مكان كم عندي؟ كم حرف عندي عشان أحطه في أي أول مكان؟ أنا عندي 8 letters وبعيد ترتيبهم. no. نفس ال8 letters هم اللي بعيد ترتيبهم. فال8 letters I'm gonna rearrange them. فأول مكان عندي 8 letters عشان أستخدم. ثاني مكان بيكون عندي 7 في ال6 في ال5 في ال4 في ال3 في ال2 في ال1 اللي هو factorial 8 صح ولا لا؟ This equal to factorial 8. لكن among those letters عندي ال I مكرر كم مرة؟ 1, 2, 3 times. So I'm gonna divide this with factorial 3. والletter N مكرر مرتين. So I'm gonna divide this also with factorial 2. And this will give me the result. تمام? So here we will divide by 3 في 2 في 1 multiply with the 2 في 1 اللي هي factorial 3 factorial 2. Now one more example. In how many ways? We can arrange the letters of the word Muhammad. So how many letters do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 again. So I'm talking about factorial 8 صح؟ And letter A مثلا مكرر كم مرة؟ مرتين. So I'm going to divide with factorial 8. And the M, how many times it is repeated? It's repeated 3 times. So I'm going to divide also with factorial 3. And this will be the result. طبعا factorial 8, factorial 2, factorial 3, all are numbers that we can find from or using your calculator. تمام? So make sure you know how to use your calculator to find this answer. Okay? Any questions so far? Now the tree diagram as well is used to do this counting thing. احنا لحد الحين نتكلم عن techniques of counting. كيف نسوي counting. Okay? One way is using the multiplication rule, using the addition rule, using the subtraction rule, and using the division rule, as you can see. One way is also using the tree diagram. In the tree diagram, we already did some examples using that. We use a tree to explain the choices that we have, then counting the leaves to give me the possible outcome. The leaves of the tree is give me all the possible outcomes. Now here we have an example. Suppose that I love discrete mathematic t-shirt come in different 5 sizes: small, medium, large, X large, or double X large. Tamam? And also it comes in different colors, 4 different colors, which is white, red, green, and black. Except that the X large will come in only red and green and black. Tamam? With double X large shirt will come only in green and black. What is the minimum number of shirts that should be in the campus bookstore? To stock, as a stock we mean, to have one size of each size and a color available. أبغى يكون عندي واحد من كل قياس من كل لون. So how many shirts I need to have in my store here? So as we said, إن small والmedium والlarge come in the different colors: white, red, green, black, white, red, green, black, white, red, green, and black. X large, it comes only in red, green, and black. So it's red, green, and black. With double X large, it comes in only green and black. شايفين؟ So استخدمنا التري عشان نقسم الحل بشكل مرتب ونشوفه بوضوح. Leaves are the outcomes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So actually we need 17 t-shirts to be in our store to have a 1 from each size, 1 from each color. You got it? طبعا من شوي استخدمناها على الإكزامبل حق الهيد and tail before we use it for the 1 and 0 to have the tree to do the calculation and know how many outcomes we have and so on. Okay? The next thing we're going to talk about is the permutation. The permutation and the combination, again, you can find them in your calculator. You will find this letter usually MPR, or you will find this letter NCR, this sample, to refer to the permutation and the combination. Okay? Check your calculator, make sure that you know where to find those buttons and how to do them in a correct way. Both the permutation and the combination are about إن يكون عندي group of things وبختار منهم عينة. Okay? فالجروب اللي موجود عندي بختار منه عينة. وفي both البرميتيشن والcombination no repeat. يعني أنا لما أختار الواحد ما أختاره مرة ثانية. يعني زي لما من شوي أنا لما أستخدم الحرف ما راح أستخدمه مرة ثانية، أستخدم الرقم ما راح أستخدمه مرة ثانية. فno repeat موجود عندي. No repeat هنا. Okay? فboth في البرميتيشن والcombination no repeat. لكن في البرميتيشن الorder is considered. والcombination it is a no order. Okay? For both of them, I'm choosing something out of something. في permutation, order is important. في combination, order is not important. And both of them, no repeat whenever we are choosing. Now, an example of a permutation is whenever I have the set S فيها elements 1, 2, 3. فأنا لو بختار a 3 permutation it's a 3, 1 and 2 اللي هي إعادة ترتيب 3 elements اللي هي 3, 1 and 2. This is a permutation. ممكن إن أنا أرتب 2, 2 وأسميها the 2 permutation of S, a 3 and 2. Okay? فلو بجيب the 2 permutation of the set S 1, 2, 3, I'm talking about 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 1, 2 and 3, 3 and 1, 3 and 2. How many of them I have? I have 6 of them. So this what does permutation means? How many ways I can arrange 2 elements out of this set. So the permutation rule in the permutation of n things taken r at a time is equal to n في n minus 1 في n minus 2 في n minus r plus 1. Or we can use this formula. The permutation of nr is equal to factorial n divided by factorial of n minus r. طبعا you don't have to use this rule if you have your calculator. ال BNR هي نفسها اللي بالcalculator MPR. So I can use my calculator and find the answer and that's it. You don't have to worry about memorizing this rule. Okay? Now here we have this example. Now how many ways are there to select a first prize winner a second prize winner, and a third prize winner from 100 different people who attend a contest. فوات I'm talking about إن أنا عندي 100 شخص بختار منهم كم شخص هنا؟ Who can tell me? How many person out of this 100 I'm choosing? I'm choosing 3 of them صح؟ بختار 3 أشخاص. واحد بعطيه الجائزة الأولى، واحد بعطيه الجائزة الثانية، واحد بعطيه الجائزة الثالثة، صح ولا لا؟ الأوردر هنا مهم ولا لا؟ مهم من الأول من الثاني من الثالث ولا لا؟ مهم. في أوردر. وأنا في جائزة أولى وثانية وثالثة، صح ولا لا؟ فأول واحد بياخذ الأولى والثاني بياخذ الثانية والثالث بياخذ الثالثة. فالأوردر is important in this case. Since the order is important and I'm choosing 100 عندي 100 وبختار منهم 3 I'm talking about 100 permutation 3 100 permutation 3 you can use the calculator directly to find the answer or you can say this is 100 في 99 في 98 and this equal to this number that you can see. Got it? So this is the permutation. Now suppose that a saleswoman has to visit 8 different cities. She's visiting how many cities? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 cities. She must begin her trip on a specific city. فالبداية راح تكون ثابتة. راح تبدأ دائما من نفس السيتي. بيبقى كم مدينة؟ كم city راح تبقى؟ 7. She need to travel around those 7 cities and I want to know in how many possible orders she can use to visit the 7 cities الباقية. فالفيرست place or the first travel عندها 7 cities تقدر تختار ما بينهم صح ولا لا؟ السيتي اللي بعدها how many options she have؟ already هي راحت زارت واحدة من السيتيز صح؟ فالسيتي اللي بعدها راح يكون 6 then 5 then 4 3 2 and 1 which is factorial 7 this equal to factorial 7 in another way أنا أقدر أفكر فيها بالشكل هذا إن هي عندها 7 cities وراح تختار 7 منهم عشان تسافرهم المدينة الأولى ثابتة عشان كذا أنا excluded هي أصلا قالوا 8 cities لكن الأولى ثابتة So I'm talking about 7 cities وراح نشوف كل الأوبشنز عشان تتنقل ما بينهم. So I'm talking about 7 permutation 7 اللي هو actually factorial 7 in this case which is the same answer. You get it? فيعني ممكن نفكر فيها as a factorial إنها 7 في 6 في 5 في 4 3 2 1 اللي هي factorial 7 وممكن نفكر فيها as a permutation actually. So the answer is 50 40 here. Okay. Now, how many permutations of the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H that contain the string ABC? يعني أنا أبغى أشوف بكم طريقة أقدر أسوي. إيش يعني permutation؟ permutation يعني تغيير أماكن، يعني تراتيب، يعني أغير ترتيب الأشياء. And this must contain the string ABC. فال ABC قاعدة أحسبها as a one thing. وال D, E, F, G, H نقدر نبدل أماكنهم. So how many places we have? ال ABC is a one package with D, E, F, G, and H. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm talking about factorial 6 in this case. لأن أنا عندي 6 أشياء actually. ال ABC as a one thing. بعدين ال D وال E وال F وال G وال H. So I have 6 things here to have a permutation along. So this will give me factorial 6, which is 720. Okay, any question, guys? Is it clear? Okay. So now let's talk about the combination. Now again, the combination, it is the NCR in your calculator. We can write it like a CNR also, and also we can write it like NR, like this. All of this means the combination. إيش يعني the combination؟ يعني عندي N things وراح أختار منهم R things. In this case, no order أو إن الأوردر ما هو مهم. Okay, no repetition طبعا and no order in this case. So this is the combination. The order is not important in the case of the combination, and let's see the formula of the combination. The formula of the combination is factorial n divided by factorial n minus r multiplied with factorial r. طبعا again, you use your calculator. This is n, CR in the calculator. Here we have this example. In this example, they say, how many Packer hand of 5 cards can be dealt from a standard deck that have 52 cards? So what do I have? عندي 52 cards وبختار منهم how many cards? 5 cards. Now الأوردر مهم هنا ولا ما هو مهم؟ أنا بختار 5 كروت هنا. مهم أي كرت اخترت قبل ولا لا؟ Do we have order or no order? No order is important هنا صح ولا لا؟ So no order is considered here. So since no order and I'm choosing 5 out of 52, then I'm talking about combination. So this is 52 combination 2. And you have the result here. They did the calculation to find it, but you don't have to worry about this. احسبوها بالكالكوليتر ما يحتاج تكتبون تفاصيل الsteps. Okay? Now, part 2 of the question, how many ways are there to select now 47 from those 52? فأنا يعني راح أغير السؤال ما راح أختار هنا 5 راح أقول when I'm choosing 47. So again, when I'm choosing 47, this will be 52 combination 47. قاعدة أختار 47 out of the 52 here. Okay? And here we have the result. Here we have the result. تمام؟ المثال السابق يا شذا كان يقول لي إن ال ABC بتتحرك ما ثبتها. قال لي إن تسوين permutation لكن ال ABC اعتبريها كواحد بس بتتحرك تنحط قدام أو تروح ورا عادي. ما قال لي إن ال ABC مثبتة at first place لا بس قال لي إنها راح تمشي مع بعض. تنحط في البداية تنحط في النهاية تنحط في الوسط تمشي as a package. المثال اللي قبله ثبت المدينة الأولى قال لي إنه لازم she's starting from this city فهي مثبتة في مكانها ما قاعدة تتحرك فعشان كده ما حسبتها من الاحتمالات. You got it? So here we have 2 more examples about the combination. In how many ways are there to select 5 players from a 10-member tennis team to make a trip to a match at another school? So again, أنا عندي 10 players وبختار منهم how many؟ بختار منهم 5 players. Order مهم أو مو مهم؟ هل مهم أنا مين الستودنت اللي اخترته أول ومين اخترته الثاني ولا أنا بس بختار 5 players هنا وباخذهم مع بعض؟ ما في order صح ولا لا؟ So I have no order here. So I'm talking about a 10 combination 5. We're talking about 10 combination 5 here. Now check this example. You have a group of 30 people have been trained as an astronaut to go to the first mission to Mars. How many ways are there to select a crew of 6 people to go on this mission? So what do I have? أنا عندي 30 people وبختار منهم 6 people to go to this mission. في order ولا ما في order؟ ما أنا بختار 6 أشخاص صح ولا لا؟ You have order for those 6 people? No order صح ولا لا؟ So no order as well. So I'm talking about a 30 combination 6. You do the calculation and this will be the answer. It's 593, 77, and 5. Okay? Is it clear? تمام. This is enough for today. We remain with the discrete probability. We will do it next time, inshallah. Next time we will do the discrete probability. Okay, does anybody have any question? بالضبط يا خالد، لو مثلا السؤال كان يقول لي ان انا بعتبر الابر كيس شيء واللور كيس شيء ثاني، فit will be 26 plus 26 بيكون عندي 52 options. عمر إن إحنا متى نقسم على الفاكتوريال؟ لما يكون عندي المجموعة اللي أنا قاعدة أسوي لها permutation أو قاعدة أدورها قاعدة أبدل أماكنها فيها مجموعة متكررة أو مجموعة زي بعض. أوكي؟ فمثلا لما أنا يكون عندي الword infinity اللي فيها هي أصلا 8 letters وقاعدة أبدل ما بينهم 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 وقاعدة أبدل ما بينهم، هذا راح يكون فاكتوريال 8 يا لكن الفاكتوريال 8 هذه في منهم 3 متكررين اللي هو اللتر I، فراح أقسم على فاكتوريال 3 عشان الثلاثة المتكررين هذه. وبعد عندي اللتر N مكرر مرتين فلازم أقسم برضو على فاكتوريال 2 لأن فيها تكرار. الحين لو الحروف كلها ما هي متكررة كل واحد فيهم شكل خلاص راح يكون فاكتوريال 8، لكن since إن عندي repetition فلازم يكون على فاكتوريال 3 فاكتوريال. تمام؟ أنا راح أطفي الريكورد الحين إذا ما حد عنده سؤال على المحاضرة هذه عشان نسوي revision. Okay? I'm gonna stop the recording now.